Have you ever seen a house walk? No, not a modular home on a flatbed truck, but a whole bamboo hut, swaying slightly, gliding down a dusty road on the shoulders of 20 neighbors. That incredible image, that moment of collective effort, is the very first page in the Filipino story of Bayanihan. And trust me, it only gets wilder and more inspiring from here. Typhoons shred towns to splinters. Volcanoes bury entire provinces under ash. Yet time and again, the Philippines doesn't just survive. It keeps bouncing back with an almost defiant resilience. The secret to this isn't some grand government plan or $1 billion international fund. It's something far more intrinsic, a reflex wired deep into the heart of every Filipino. When someone falls, everyone instinctively reaches out to help. That powerful, unwavering reflex has a name: Bayanihan. Today, we're going to trace how this ancient, pre-colonial house-lifting tradition has evolved into a global movement, shaping everything from disaster relief to digital communities. Picture this with me, a nipa hut, known locally as A. It's light enough to sway gently in a tropical breeze, yet remarkably sturdy, built to withstand the fierce monsoon rains. These iconic homes made from natural, readily available materials like bamboo and nipa leaves perfectly embody Filipino simplicity and a deep harmony with nature. Now, imagine a family needs to move. Maybe the river's crept a little too close, or the soil has simply given all it can. In traditional Filipino communities, this wasn't a problem for just one family. The village would show up at sunrise ready to help. Men would position themselves under the front posts, women would take the rear, and even the kids would pitch in, shoving bamboo rollers underneath the house's foundation. Then, in one synchronized breath, with grunts and laughter echoing through the morning air, the house would rise. No cranes, no heavy machinery, no invoices to be paid, just raw, collective human power and an unspoken understanding. By noon, that would settle gently onto its new plot. Walls intact, the scent of rice already cooking on the same old clay stove wafting from within. Anthropologists might label this cooperative labor. For locals, it was simply Tuesday. The very word Bayanihan itself is a beautiful fusion, meaning community or nation, and meaning hero. So every single neighbor who joined that house lift wasn't just a helper, they became a hero, simply by showing up and lending their strength. It's a profound cultural symbol of civic unity and shared responsibility, a practice so iconic it's even preserved and showcased by groups like the Bayanihan folk dance group, who use traditional Filipino dance to express and preserve this very spirit for the world to see. Fast forward from those tranquil village scenes to 2009, a year etched into the memory of many Filipinos. Typhoon Ondoy, also known internationally as Quetzana, unleashed a month's worth of rain on Manila in just 6 hours. Streets transformed into raging rapids, cars became submerged submarines, and lives hung precariously in the balance. But what happened next? Within minutes, the hashtag RescuePH began trending online. Within hours, rubber boats appeared as if by magic. Who owned them? Nobody really knew. Who piloted them? Whoever could swim, whoever had the courage to navigate the treacherous waters. That same weekend, a courier rider, a man affectionately known as Kuya Boy, used his motorcycle not for deliveries, but as a water delivery mule. He stacked 5-gallon jugs between his legs, wading through chest-deep floods, driven by an urgent need. There was no fancy coordination app, no promise of hazard pay, just that ancient ingrained algorithm: see a need, fill a need. The government tally later reported 464 dead, a tragic number, but locals will tell you without hesitation that the toll would have doubled, perhaps even tripled, without that invisible command center operating on group chats, whispered prayers, and the uniquely Filipino philosophy of Bahala na, a trusting acceptance of fate combined with an unwavering commitment to do one's best. It's during these moments of extreme adversity that the Bayanihan spirit truly shines, transforming ordinary citizens into an unstoppable force of communal aid. April 2021. The world was gripped by the pandemic, and the Philippines was no exception. Lockdowns hit hard, leaving countless daily wage earners like jeepney drivers facing an impossible choice: buy fuel for their livelihood or rice for their families. It was in this desperate climate that a simple act sparked a nationwide phenomenon. A magtataho, a vendor of sweet soy pudding, set up a humble bamboo cart beside a bakery in Quezon City. On it, a handwritten cardboard sign declared, "Magbigay ayon sa kakayahan, kumuha ayon sa pangangailangan." Give what you can, take what you need. This wasn't just a cart, it was a beacon of hope. Within 48 hours, that modest cart had blossomed into a 40-foot table, groaning under the weight of fresh vegetables, eggs, canned goods, and even celebratory lechon. The media quickly dubbed it a community pantry, but Filipinos recognized it instantly for what it truly was: Bayanihan, simply wearing a mask. By the end of that week, over 200 such pantries had popped up nationwide, from bustling cities to remote provinces, proving definitively that while you can quarantine bodies, you absolutely cannot quarantine the reflex to share, to care, to uplift. The original Maginhawa community pantry cart? It now rests in the National Museum, a poignant piece of history nestled between a 19th century plow and a pair of traditional wooden shoes, a powerful testament to how deeply the past informs the present. It showcased the enduring power of mutual aid, a spontaneous eruption of collective compassion that met a critical need. Now, let's cut to Dubai. Meet Maritz, a hotel housekeeper. Every month, she meticulously sends home 40% of her salary. This isn't an isolated act. Remittances from overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, account for a staggering 10% of the entire Philippine GDP. But the Bayanihan of OFWs goes far beyond just financial support. When Taal volcano erupted violently in 2020, displacing thousands and devastating livelihoods, Maritz and 12 of her co-workers didn't just send money. They launched a Facebook Live sale of handmade rosaries, leveraging their networks and their collective determination. In just 10 days, they raised an incredible 1.8 million pesos, which they wired directly to a feeding program run by nuns they had never even met. The physical distance between Dubai and Batangas is a vast 7,000 kilometers, yet the invisible circuitry of Bayanihan shrinks it to a mere heartbeat. OFWs aren't just mailing balikbayan boxes filled with goodies, they're mailing hope, resilience, and an unbreakable connection, tracked through Viber stickers and midnight video calls. They form a crucial long-distance lifeline demonstrating how the Filipino diaspora maintains and extends the Bayanihan spirit across continents, mobilizing aid and support during every crisis back home. Their dedication ensures that even when far away, they remain an integral part of the collective lifting. The landscape of Bayanihan is constantly evolving. Take TikTok for instance. Once primarily a dance floor and entertainment hub, it now doubles as an incredibly effective disaster operations channel. When Super Typhoon Rai, or as locals call it, Odette, ripped through Siargao last December, leaving widespread devastation, the hashtag Siargao needs help and Astro TikTok merged into a powerful force. Teen gamers, instead of just playing for fun, live-streamed their playthroughs, directing their tips and donations to crowdfund 500 fiberglass fishing boats for the displaced local fishermen. One particular creator, 19-year-old Island Kiddo, posted a raw 30-second clip showing his community's destroyed boardwalk. By bedtime, that single post had garnered 3.4 million views, and a Silicon Valley startup, moved by the sheer reach and urgency, pledged solar-powered water purifiers for the island. The traditional house lift required pure muscle and physical presence. The new one runs on 5G, emoji hearts, and a global network of compassion. It's digital Bayanihan in action, showcasing how social media and online platforms have become vital tools for rapid coordination, fundraising, and spreading critical information, allowing Filipinos worldwide to participate instantly. Of course, that incredible spontaneity and grassroots energy often scales even better when institutions and organizations step in to provide structure and sustained effort. Consider Gawad Kalinga, an inspiring movement born from a Jesuit prison ministry. Today they don't just build houses, they build communities, constructing over 3,000 homes a year using a powerful sweat equity rule. Future homeowners don't just receive a house, they contribute to its creation, hauling cement bags on weekends alongside volunteers who might have just flown in from Vancouver. It's Bayanihan, institutionalized. Then there's Angat Buhay, a private-public hybrid initiative, what started as a simple slogan from a political campaign, Angat Buhay Lahat, meaning lift up all lives, transformed into a logistics giant, moving an astonishing 700 tons of relief goods annually. Even the venerable Philippine Red Cross has innovated, moving beyond traditional blood drives to embrace blockchain technology. They now issue QR-coded vouchers, allowing donors to track exactly where every single peso of their contribution lands, ensuring transparency and trust. These organizations prove that Bayanihan can go corporate without ever losing its soul, demonstrating that collective effort can be both heartfelt and highly effective. But the spirit of Bayanihan isn't always about headline-grabbing disasters or massive organized efforts. Sometimes it's found in the quiet, everyday moments. Notice the Sorry Sorry store, that ubiquitous neighborhood convenience shop, where credit is simply scribbled on a carbon paper notebook. Neighbors might borrow eggs today, promising to pay with a cigarette pack or a few coins tomorrow. Or observe the tricycle driver, that iconic three-wheeled taxi who subtly lowers his barya for change tray so kids can quietly fish out a few coins for their school fare, understanding their struggle without a word. These are tiny lifts, microscopic acts of kindness that, collectively, prevent the social weave from fraying. Anthropologists might label this informal insurance or social capital. For Filipinos, it's simply called being decent, being human, being a good neighbor. It's the constant, gentle hum of community support that underpins daily life, showing that Bayanihan is not just for crises, but for the quiet, continuous sustenance of connection. These small, often unnoticed gestures are the bedrock of communal solidarity, proving that the spirit thrives in the smallest interactions. Of course, modern life throws its own unique curveballs at these traditional values. High-rise condos replace close-knit barangays. Landlords sometimes ban communal activities like group laundry, and the rise of remote work means you might not even know your next-door neighbor's name. Individualism whispers its seductive message, not your problem. Yet every single calamity, every challenge, proves that the Bayanihan gene still expresses itself, powerfully and undeniably. The real challenge we face now is teaching the next generation that Bayanihan isn't merely a Typhoon Day hobby, or something you only do during a pandemic. It's a daily operating system, a fundamental way of living. That's why some schools are now grading students on Eswelco, short for Escuela sa Huelga at Cooperación, or School in Action and Cooperation. Here, students don't just learn from books, they plan mock evacuations, cook one-pot meals for 200 people, learning practical skills and communal responsibility. Their homework? Pass a tray of adobo to the left, share what you have, and connect with those around you. It's about instilling that reflex of collective action and compassion from an early age, ensuring the spirit continues to adapt and flourish. So, here's the deal. Bayanihan isn't some exclusive Filipino monopoly. Wherever you are in the world, if you've ever shared your Wi-Fi password with a struggling neighbor, held an elevator door open for a stranger with an armful of groceries, or Venmo'd a friend's coffee when they were short on cash, you've done a microlift. You've tapped into that universal human instinct to help. Now we'd love to hear from you. Drop your own Bayanihan moment, big or small, profound or simple, in the comments section below. Let's turn this digital space into a modern barangay hall, a place for sharing and connection. And if you learned something new, if this story resonated with you, tap that like button so the algorithm can carry this message farther than a bamboo hut on 20 shoulders. From a walking nipa hut to a walking hashtag, Bayanihan keeps evolving, adapting to new challenges, yet it remains unmistakably Filipino, deeply relational, sometimes wonderfully ridiculous, and always incredibly resilient. It's why a country slammed by an average of 20 typhoons every single year still frequently tops global happiness surveys. Because when life strips you down to your core, when everything else is gone, you discover the most profound truth: you are never, ever alone. One powerful word, one ingrained reflex, one sprawling archipelago, and now one vibrant comment thread, all proving the house only truly moves when everyone lifts.